America didn't give up on COVID-19. Republicans did. It's so funny to me how not wearing a mask has become a political statement. Fucking idiots. I remember Flanders' parents' quote from The Simpsons, "We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas." Alternative title: Confederates surrender to COVID-19. I love all my friends, but being in a semi-flyover city in the Southwest, fuck man. I'd say 80% of my social media thinks masks are the devil, COVID is a dem ploy and fake, Antifa is coming to town by the busload. And most recently, are moving to a far-right social media platform to form a militia. https://imager.com/vm4hzd3. PNG. Hawaii is the most democratic state in the nation, as in the Dem Party has a supermajority and there are a handful of Republicans in the state legislature. Most races are decided by the Democratic primary. Is it perfect? No, unfortunately having such a lopsided government makes fewer people vote. But almost nobody here is trivializing the pandemic. People take it fucking seriously. Masks are mandatory and people are shamed for not wearing them. We also have one of the lowest rates of coronavirus in the nation. That has come at a big economic cost because we rely on tourism, so much so that we have the worst unemployment in the nation. But most of us are willing to sacrifice that to keep our kupuna, elders, safe. Edit: yes, we're on an island with a mandatory 14-day quarantine, which has been a huge factor, but keep in mind that this was put in place after the virus already came to the island, and we have very effectively reduced the transmission rate, which could be potentially very high in a place with very dense multi-generational households. We have also experienced a spike in our transmission rate, lately because the number of new cases every day has gone from 0 to 5 per day to 4 to 27 per day for the last couple weeks. We're still fine resource-wise as long as the new cases aren't above 30 per day for a sustained amount of time. Republicans didn't even start to fight. It was back in March when all the pundits were saying sacrifice grandma for the economy. Literally it was Republicans' strategy from the start to just let the virus wipe us out. Republicans finally found something that can't be swayed by political rhetoric. As a tax-paying voter in the US, we expect our taxes to be used wisely during national disasters such as this pandemic. However, our federal dollars must be being used for something other than saving American lives and livelihoods. Trump shirked his responsibilities, as well as broken his oath to the people he swore to serve. I want my federal taxes back. You can't give up something you actively fought against the whole time. Republicans want COVID-19 to spread. Maybe they think it will help them suppress voting in November. Lots of butthurt Republicans in this thread, it would seem, trying to deflect some blame to Democrats and BLM protests. Odd how the places with such large protests are largely not the places spiking with coronavirus right now. It's almost like the spikes right now are far more about states half-assing lockdowns, thanks Republicans, and ending them much too soon without a robust testing and tracing plan. Nah. Why blame it on the logical reason when you can just scream loudly about how the liberals are behind every bad thing that has ever happened? This is not to say the protests will not cause spikes, because I'm sure there will be some as yet undetermined spike as a result of them, but bitching about that is like having an already blazing house fire that you're doing nothing about and not concerned with, and then freaking out when the fire ticks up several degrees Fahrenheit. Like, yeah, it's a problem, but WTF? When you're dealing with a virus 3 times as communicable as the flu, when half the country, and the half that currently controls the federal government, and most state governments, gives up on COVID-19, America gives up on COVID-19, removed. Not only Republicans. I have a few anti-Trump friends that are not wearing masks, but they are also anti-vaccine. It's the tons of misinformation on Facebook that is also contributing to this shit. People actually believe that wearing masks is worse for you than the virus itself. People still believe this is nothing but a flu. It's tragic what social media has done to this country. The internet should be the best invention to increase the knowledge of mankind, but it seems to be doing the opposite. Instead of making us smarter, it's actively making us dumber. Misinformation gets signal boosted more than real facts and we are being destroyed. People are coming to the conclusion that there are no more facts and that nothing is true anymore. We are post-truth. Everyone who has or is about to lose a loved one due to this criminal negligence has a duty to vote out anyone who enabled the current administration to so recklessly wipe out our people. There is no defense for this crime against humanity. Republicans are unfit to govern. Join r/vote DEM, help make sure they never do again. Removed. Is there a Democrat-controlled state other than California that hasn't effectively suppressed the first wave? Edit, I looked it up. California, Oregon, and Hawaii are the only states that voted Democrat in 2016 that are currently hotspots. The states that voted Republican that are currently hotspots include Ohio, West Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and Nevada. Trump is a failure. This is the way to do it. Headlines need to include Republican when talking about COVID deaths, destruction of the environment, children in concentration camps, obstruction of justice, and every other horrible thing they have done forever. Republicans have decided that since they are going to lose the White House and almost certainly the Senate, they are going to leave a smoking wreck that cannot possibly be fixed by the 2022 midterms. They will blame the Democrats for everything, swear that eliminating taxes on the rich and corporations is the solution, and voters will fall for it yet again. I live in staunchly liberal New York and people have just steadily gotten tired of caring about it. You still see masks but a lot of people are wearing them around their necks. The Republicans have exhibited zero leadership around this but a lot of it is just us being spoiled entitled Americans. This was so timely. It needed to be said. They are directly to blame and should be called out. Let's hold them accountable at the polls. With the amount of unmasked Trump supporters at his rallies, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 1 million deaths by election. Removed. Just as you can't have a second wave if the first never ended, you can't give up if you never tried. In Pickens, South Carolina, my boss made a point to call the sheriff to tell him ain't no way no fake virus is shutting down my business. I've been working overtime and the only mask I wear is the one I bring to work. Yes, I work for a piece of shit redneck Republican. Unfortunately I can't just quit out of fear I'll be blacklisted in my field and won't be able to find another job. The GOP is a fifth column in the war against COVID-19. That's misleading. It implies that Republicans tried. They aren't concerned with saving Americans nearly as much as getting re-elected. Our lives are literally political fodder. Oh, the death toll is too high to compare this to Obama's H1N1 response. Fuck it, let's call this the Kung Flu and screech that the Obama administration was the most corrupt in history. It's not that the right is averse to fear-mongering. But it doesn't want you to fear impersonal threats that require an effective policy response, not to mention inconveniences like wearing face masks. It wants you to be afraid of people you can hate, people of a different race or supercilious liberals. The GOP needs things to stand against because it doesn't stand for anything.